You know that feeling, right? That stiffness when life just throws a massive curveball.
Yeah.
And all those plans you had just, poof, disappear. And you're left kind of scrambling, stuck in the old ways.
It's really uncomfortable, that struggle to adapt.
Hmm.
We've all been there.
But what if maybe that feeling didn't have to be the end of the story? What if you could change it?
Well, you absolutely can. It's funny, we humans, we really crave certainty, don't we?
Totally.
We build this, illusion that things will stay the same, last forever. But life is changed, so when we hold on too tight...
The inevitable shifts feel like huge shocks.
Exactly. They can be paralyzing, even.
And that's really what we're digging into today. This whole deep dive is about cutting through all the noise and figuring out what it really means to develop, genuine flexibility.
Right.
Adaptability. And not just as ideas, but as actual skills. Practical things you can use to boost your resilience, your mental well-being, really your success in pretty much every part of life. Health, work, relationships.
Think of it as your maybe essential guide for when things get unpredictable, which they always do.
Right, because in this world, moving so fast all the time, being able to pivot, to adjust, it's not just nice anymore, is it?
No, it's fundamental. It really is. It gives you that peace of mind, helps you make better decisions, and honestly, it can lead to deeper connections with people.
And you mentioned reframing uncertainty.
Yeah, that's a huge shift. Seeing uncertainty not as this scary thing, but as novelty, as something new and maybe even exciting. That's where the real power is, I think.
Okay, so let's unpack that phrase, flexible thinking. What are we actually talking about? Is it just like changing your opinion easily, or is it something deeper?
That's a great question. It's definitely more than just changing your mind. At its core, flexible thinking is really the ability to fluidly adjust your thoughts and your actions in response to what's happening around you. New information, unexpected challenges, It means looking at a problem from lots of different angles.
Not just the one way you always do it.
Exactly. Coming up with the alternative strategies instead of just sticking stubbornly to what worked before or what you thought would work. It's an active thing, embracing the change.
And the ripple effects of that must be huge. When people start doing this, what kinds of benefits do you actually see? Because it feels like it would touch almost everything.
It really does. And what's fascinating when you look at the research is, it helps with problem solving, but it also unlocks completely new ways of even seeing the problems, ways that rigid thinking just misses.
Ah, interesting.
So you see better problem solving, sure, but also a greater ability to overcome obstacles, more open-mindedness. It's crucial for handling setbacks emotionally, building that growth mindset we talk about.
Right, big growth mindset.
And it even makes working with others smoother. Collaboration improves. Ultimately, it's really the bedrock of resilience. It helps you bounce back.
Maybe even stronger than before.
Often, yes, stronger.
Makes total sense. But still, it feels like we're almost wired against this. We want that certainty, that permanence.
We absolutely do. It's this natural pull towards certainty. But here's the thing. We also have this fundamental need for novelty, for newness.
So there's a tension there.
There is, an inherent tension. But the liberating part comes when you genuinely start to accept that life is temporary, that everything is always shifting, evolving.
Accepting the life of permanence.
Yeah. And when you do that, those shocks from unexpected turns, they lessen. They don't paralyze you in the same way. You start to see uncertainty less as a threat and more as maybe an opening, a chance for something new.
Okay, so if that's the foundation, how do we actually build this? Because it doesn't always sound like our default mode. Where do we even start?
Well, a lot of it starts with shifting our mental frameworks, our sort of underlying approaches. And one really powerful one, you might have heard of it from the tech world, is the agile mindset.
Right. Agile, I think of software teams, sprints, stand-ups. How does that work for my personal life? We're just getting through a chaotic Tuesday.
The core ideas are surprisingly universal. It's really about embracing change and uncertainty as normal. It's about delivering value or, making progress early and often, even small steps.
Okay.
It emphasizes good communication, working together, and this constant cycle of reflection and improvement, looking back, seeing what worked, what didn't, and adjusting.
So it encourages experimenting. Like you don't have to nail it perfectly the first time.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off perfection. It encourages trying things, getting feedback, and learning as you go. It makes transitions much smoother. So instead of mapping out your entire fitness plan for the year in crazy detail.
Which feels overwhelming anyway.
Right. An agile way would be setting small, weekly goals. Maybe track them, see how it went, and then adapt the plan for the next week based on what you learned.
I like that experimentation idea. Permission to just try stuff. And I've heard that just like acknowledging how you feel during uncomfortable moments, letting thoughts just pass, can be a practical first step.
Absolutely. And pairing that with something as simple as focusing on your breath, it can be incredibly grounding. You're not trying to fight the discomfort.
You're just noticing it.
Yeah, noticing it, maybe understanding it a bit better, learning to coexist with it. Visualization can help too. Sometimes picturing uncertainty, maybe as a shape or an object, can weirdly make it feel less powerful.
Less like this big, scary unknown.
Right. It turns it into something you can maybe understand and approach more strategically, and always focusing on what you can control, your reaction, your effort, your next small step that gives you an anchor.
That really brings to mind that classic Reinhold Niebuhr quote, doesn't it? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
The courage to change the things I can.
And the wisdom to know the difference. That feels like pure agile thinking for life.
It absolutely is. And speaking of wisdom that stood the test of time, another really relevant philosophy here is Stoicism.
Ah, the Stoics.
Yeah, and it's often misunderstood, right? People think it's about having no emotions.
Suppressing everything.
But it's not that at all. It's about building inner strength, finding peace, even when life gets turbulent.
And they had some really practical tools. That dichotomy of control idea seems incredibly useful for navigating chaos.
It's so simple, but so powerful. Basically, divide everything into two buckets. What you can control, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, how you respond. And what you cannot control, pretty much everything else. External events, what other people think, the economy, the weather.
Right.
The power comes when you deliberately, consciously focus your energy only on that first bucket, only on what you can actually influence.
And just let go of agonizing over the rest.
Exactly. It dramatically cuts down on stress and anxiety because you stop wasting energy on things you can't change anyway.
Makes sense.
And their four virtues tie in perfectly with flexibility too. Wisdom, like practical knowledge, good judgment, being willing to change your mind. Justice, fairness, integrity, courage facing challenges, even when it's hard, and temperance, moderation, self-control. They all support this resilient, adaptable way of living.
So we've got these powerful mindsets, agile, stoic. Now, how do we make them stick? What are the practical, maybe daily things we can do to actually develop this adaptability muscle?
Self-reflection and mindfulness are really key starting points. A great stoic practice is the evening review.
Okay, what's that?
Super simple. End of the day, just pause for a few minutes. Ask yourself, what went well today? Where did I maybe fall short? What could I do differently or better tomorrow?
So it's about learning from the day.
Yes. Celebrating the small wins, learning from mistakes, and setting intentions. Journaling is another great way to do this, to process changes and consciously cultivate that adaptable mindset over time.
And then there's that one that sounds a bit weird at first, negative visualization.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive.
It does. Like, why would I want to imagine bad things happening?
Well, the idea isn't to dwell on the negative. It's to briefly, mindfully imagine losing something you really value, maybe your job, your health, or relationship, just for a moment. And then you come back to the present. And the effect is usually this huge surge of gratitude for what you do have right now.
I see. So it combats taking things for granted.
Precisely. It's like an antidote to that hedonic treadmill. Yeah. You know, how we get used to good things really quickly and always need more to feel happy.
Right.
Negative visualization helps you appreciate the present and also mentally prepares you a bit for potential challenges, builds resilience through gratitude. And, of course, simple mindful breathing exercises throughout the day can help you notice when you're getting stuck in rigid thinking.
Beyond reflecting, that growth mindset seems absolutely crucial. But it's not just think positive, is it?
No, it's much deeper than that. It's the core belief that your abilities, your intelligence, they aren't fixed traits. They can be developed.
Through effort.
Through dedication, hard work, learning. People with a growth mindset see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to learn something new. They persist when things get tough. They see effort as the path to mastery.
And they're okay with feedback, even criticism.
They actually welcome it. They see it as constructive information, not a personal attack. They tend to value the process, the learning journey itself, more than just the final outcome. It's really about loving the process of learning and getting better.
Which leads perfectly into embracing new experiences, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like a direct counter to getting stuck in a rut.
It absolutely is. Actively pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, even in small ways. Try food you've never eaten, pick up a random new hobby, take a day trip with no plan.
Stretches your adaptability muscle.
Exactly. And commit to lifelong learning. Read books on topics you know nothing about. Engage with different ideas. It expands your mental toolkit. And another powerful thing, actively ask for constructive feedback and be genuinely open to hearing it. It's gold for growth.
Okay, and all this loops back to building resilience, managing emotions better, that ability to bounce back, focusing on now, not dwelling on the past.
Yeah, and we also talk about cognitive adaptability. That's the skill of actually adjusting your thinking when new information comes in, like overcoming anchoring bias.
Anchoring bias.
Yeah, it's our tendency to latch on to the first piece of information we hear and stick with it, even if later stuff contradicts it. Cognitive adaptability is about noticing that and being willing to update your beliefs.
Trusting your own problem-solving skills, too.
Definitely. Believing you can figure things out, trying different angles on a problem, being creative, and super important, don't underestimate your social support system.
Your people.
Your people, family, friends, community, they are huge factors in resilience. So making time for relationships, maybe joining groups, learning from others, that external support is critical when things get tough.
Okay, let's make this really concrete. How does this flexibility stuff show up in, say, our personal health and well-being?
Okay, great example. Think about someone wanting to lose weight and maybe run a race. An agile approach instead of some massive, rigid plan.
That you'll probably abandon by week 3.
Right. They might break it down. Daily goal, 30 minutes of exercise, track meals and calories, maybe use a fitness tracker, keep a journal. Then each week, they look back. What worked? What was hard?
And they adjust for next week.
Exactly. They iterate. Continuous reflection and improvement. Same for stress. Someone might try daily 10-minute mindfulness, schedule short breaks at work, make time for a hobby, maybe track their mood, keep a gratitude list, and importantly, talk to their support network. It's dynamic, adaptable.
That makes it feel so much more achievable. What about in relationships? Family life, those can be areas where people get really stuck in patterns.
Oh, for sure. But you can apply these ideas there, too. There's this cool concept called agile family meetings. Some families do this weekly.
Really? What do they do?
It often revolves around 3 simple questions. What went well for us this week? What could have gone better? And what are we going to focus on improving next week?
Wow, even with kids.
Yeah. It fosters really constructive conversations, gives everyone a voice, builds shared responsibility. It's all about interpersonal adaptability learning to adjust how you communicate with different people, reading the room, building genuine connection, not just talking at each other.
And at work. Adaptability isn't just a buzzword HR likes, right?
Oh, definitely not. It's crucial. It means seeing changes not just as problems, but maybe as opportunities. Being willing to learn new skills, maybe volunteering for a project outside your usual scope.
Staying current with technology, learning from colleagues.
All of that. And think about entrepreneurs. Adaptability is practically their defining trait. They have to pivot constantly based on the market.
Yeah, true.
And it's incredibly important for young people during big transitions, like heading off to university.
Oh, I can imagine. The stress for first-year university students must be immense. New place, new demands.
Research shows significant levels of depression, anxiety, stress. But here's the key finding. Students who have better coping mechanisms, who are more adaptable, handle that stress better and actually do better academically.
So coping skills are like a buffer.
Exactly. Without them, that distress can lead to low motivation, trouble focusing, higher dropout rates, feeling isolated. Adaptability really matters there.
Okay, this leads to something you touched on earlier that I find fascinating. This idea of the unexpected power in uncertainty. Most of us hate uncertainty, right? It feels like weakness, stress. But you said it can be good stress.
How?
It's about how the brain responds. When things are uncertain, ambiguous, our brain doesn't just shut down. It actually becomes more alert, more receptive to new information.
Really?
Yeah. Attention can broaden, working memory can improve. It's like a state of heightened awareness, which is actually prime time for learning. Some studies even suggest uncertainty can lead to better arguments, more thoughtful discussions, more creative group thinking, especially if there's respectful disagreement.
Wow. Okay, so how does that connect to, say, relationships? bridging divides between people who think differently. You mentioned perspective taking.
Right. This is a cognitive form of empathy. It's where you consciously, deliberately try to make yourself a little uncertain about someone else's viewpoint.
Yeah.
You try to loosen those automatic labels and categories we slap on people.
Even if you totally disagree with them. Especially then. You actively imagine seeing the world from their perspective. And research shows this simple practice can actually reduce bias. It helps build bridges, instead of just throwing facts or opinions back and forth.
Which usually goes nowhere.
You focus on active listening, maybe sharing personal stories. It opens up space for real understanding, moving beyond black and white thinking and seeing the complexity.
So it helps you see the individual behind the label, fighting that us versus them mentality. Uncertainty becomes a tool for connection.
Exactly. It transforms something that feels like a barrier into a potential gateway for growth and understanding.
Amazing. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels really clear. Developing flexibility, it's not just one thing. It's about intentionally building these mindsets the agile way, the stoic path, that growth mindset. And then consistently using those practical strategies we talked about. Reflection, stepping outside your comfort zone, learning, building resilience.
Across all parts of life.
Yeah. It's about embracing that change is normal, valuing the learning process, and maybe even finding strength in the uncertainty itself.
It really is the path to thriving, not just getting by, in a world that's always, always changing.
So here's something to think about. If real strength isn't being rigid, but it's more like a graceful dance with change, what's maybe one unnatural thought or one small action outside your usual routine that you could commit to trying today? Just knowing it might unlock something surprising, a new path you didn't expect.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We really hope these ideas give you some tools and inspiration to explore new possibilities and navigate whatever comes next with a bit more peace and purpose.